Alright, welcome family. So I went on vacation to run down chickens.
That's all the fold.
But before I actually went on vacation, I went to the barber to get a trim. So normally when I trim, I pay like $1,000 to trim. Alright? But today when I went, the barber was charging me $1,500. Some people and say, you don't say, but now I come back again. As in, well, and I'm gonna trim like twice a week, but you know me, I just trim once, you mean? So he's lost. However, me walking, coming back, just contemplating how much just pay $500 extra, I decided that, you know, might as well just do a video on inflation. So with that said, ensure you like, share, comment, subscribe, refer to a friend, and yo, with that said, let's begin. Alright, so what is inflation? Inflation is really just an economic phenomenon that just simply means the increase in price for goods and services. It is measured by the CPI, or you can call it like the basic basket of commonly purchased items such as food, housing, and transportation. So let's say for a common basket for someone who is working and they're surviving for a week would entail 10 bus trips. So 5 go 5 come back from work, 10 pound of chicken, 10 pound of rice, and then $7,000 in rent and bills for that week. This would basically be a common basket. So a deviation from that would affect the CPI rather negatively or positively. And basically here's a chart of a CPI, I guess. So there are several causes for inflation, but the most common one is really just the increase in money supply in circulation in a particular economy. So basically whenever the central bank increases the money supply, what happens is that there's more money chasing the same goods and or services in a particular economy. But inflation can also just be caused by other factors such as like cost to produce stuff, raw material, shortage. So inflation has both positive and negative effects on the economy. On the positive side, it encourages persons to spend their money and invest in the future, as they'll basically expect that prices will continue to increase. It also stimulates growth and decreases unemployment, because if I'm an employer and I see that by investing in more space and employing more persons, that in the long run my investments will pay off more, then I will do it. And by creating expansion also creates jobs for the contractors. So however, inflation also has like negative consequences, like, you know, the erosion of dollar, just like how Mola can trim like once a month now. But because basically when you think about it, if inflation is rising faster than your income, then it kind of decreases the standard of living that you have. In addition to the fact that inflation is like really hard to control and it is uncertain, so it can destabilize the financial market. For example, in Zimbabwe, they have record high inflation. During observation between 1980 and 2022, the average inflation rate was 686.4% per year, and then like the overall inflation between that time period was somewhere like 345 billion with a B 814,511,410.02%. Yo, that rough still, you know. I've seen like photos like they carrying wheelbarrows of money just to buy bread. Just imagine the shopkeeper, you buy a bread today with one wheelbarrow of money, and then like literally like tomorrow a 3 wheelbarrows have to carry. However, inflation can be managed, and there are a few things central bank use. The two predominant things are controlling the interest rate.
Federal Reserve is raising the
Fed
interest
is set
rate
to raise interest rates.
Highest inflation in 40 years.
And controlling the money supply. Normally, most economists try to keep inflation about the 2 to 5% per year mark. But if you're more curious as to how the money supply and interest rate works, well, for interest rate, central bank uses interest rates to influence inflation by, you know, raising or lowering the cost of money. When rate is high, it becomes more expensive for individuals and businesses to borrow money, which reduces the demand to actually take out loan. and or for them for like buy goods and or services. On the other hand, is like when interest rate is lowered, then it incentivizes persons to take out loan and invest or expand in business and so on and so forth. For example, let's say the central bank is trying to curb the inflation that is ever so growing. What they could do is increase the cost of borrowing money, and then by them increase the cost of money, there will be less demand for the things that people would buy with the loan, so car or house or whatever it is. And the second way is the control of the money supply. Basically, when you think about it, if the central bank increases the amount of money supply that is available, then you'll have more money chasing more goods, which will push up the price of stuff, which kind of increases inflation. On the flip side, what central bank can do now is just decrease the money supply, and then basically there'll be less money chasing goods and services, which at the end basically price is just going to decrease over time. How do they get to control and stimulate these stuff? Well, central banks mean that it is the big bank that control different banks. What normally happens is that banks will have money and they will just want to invest money in different stuff, or lend out more loans or them something there. But how the banks really do it, there's always a level of risk whenever you lend money to persons or lend money to institutions that you might not get back your money. However, what the central bank does is, let's say the bank normally lends out an interest rate of 7%, just throwing a number there, 7% to a lender. There's an element of risk to that. I can show you the risk chart that I learned in economics of financial institution, so you can see can see it right here. So I might have on top of it right now. And if you're wondering how the central banks control the amount of money and them things there in circulation, then how they do that is that they'll have a risk-free rates for the bank. So normally whenever a bank lends money, there's always the risk that the institution or a person will not pay. However, the central bank is basically safe money, so you put on your money there and they'll hold it, and then for the stipulated period they will give you a percentage. So let's say the bank normally lend out a loan at 7%, and there's like a 20% risk that you might not get back your money. With the central bank, they'll take that loan at the 7%, and you basically have like a 0% risk. Of institutions are normally just jump to that. And as well as the interest rate now, the financial system in Jamaica, all across the world, is really strict. But I can speak about Jamaica, it is really strict, and the fact that central bank can dictate what you should be charging, or what is the base you should be charging, or what is the cap that you should be charging on loans and them stuff there. So, however, on the flip side, you have deflation, which basically is the opposite of inflation. And deflation just really means the decrease in the price for goods and services within an economy, and it's still used by measuring the CPI, the same concept like what explained earlier. And deflation happens in several ways. Two of the most popular one is when you increase efficiency, because if it's cheaper or it's easier for you to do, most times companies will charge less, because it's cheaper and not costing much. And also there's also the fact that when the demand for something has dropped, like the crypto market now, prices do decrease. So however, with all things, deflation also has positives and negatives. On the positive side, it decreases the prices of stuff, which increases your spending power, means your money can buy more stuff, which benefits the consumer. And it also encourages persons to invest and save more for the future, because they think like price is going to continue falling. So however, deflation has negative impacts as well. From the producer side, consumers might take longer to make a purchase because they're having hopes that it will be cheaper. Case in point, I personally want a PlayStation 5, but I'm not going to spend 195 grand on a game. So what I did, or what I've been doing, is just waiting, and for the past 2 years it has gone down to about $130,000. So like tech is one of the most noticeable things that you can see. Because this year you will have the latest gen technology. You see me? Highest price spec out, and then bam. Next year you have last gen tech and way cheaper. So yeah, wait. So when you think about it, like inflation, sometimes it takes incremental steps, and you won't see it until it, like, you know, big. For example, we in Jamaica, the most common thing is taking taxes. For the longest while, taxes have been about $100. Is it me? $100 for taxi fares and everything there. And then they did get an increase a few years back, but you try telling a Jamaican to pay $118 for bus fare. Is it me? But then they got another raise, and now they've just bumped it up to $140 or $150. Depends if them have change or not. But the truth is, personally, I've been trimming for like 4 years now at $1,000 price point. So at some point I did expect it to, you know, increase. However, but that's what I'm thinking there. But that's really it, guys. Ensure you like, share, comment, subscribe, tell a friend, and yo, catch you in the next video. Peace.